Warning: the following video has not been approved by the Comic Code Authority and is intended for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The.Comic.Assassin. Little change of scenery here, right? So if the sound's different, it's just because I'm in a bigger room. But it's Christmas time. It's upon us in less than a week. So I wanted to change it up just a little bit to get in the Christmas spirit of things. So it's Friday. Hope all of y'all had a great week. Hope all of y'all have a good week coming up. If you're a father or a parent like myself, this is the last day of school for at least my kids. Some of your kids might have already been out of school. But after today, it's full-blown holidays for 2 weeks. I don't know if that's going to affect anything video-wise. It may, but, you know, when it comes to the holidays, I do like to spend time with my kids as much as possible. You know, as long as, and I still have to work as well. But, so, hopefully there won't be any interruptions. You'll have a video on Monday. And also got a little something special planned, too, so keep an eye out for that. I'll mention that more here in a minute. But anyway, this is the day where I'll let you guys know what books I picked up this week, and also doing a comic book review on 2 different issues, spoilers included, right? So let's just jump into it. And this was actually a weird week for my LCS, because I had a list of stuff that I wanted, and I'm like, okay, where's this book? Where's this book? And we're not talking about low print books. We're talking ones like Teen Titans, Guardians of the Galaxy. Nowhere. And even some of my buddies that were in at the same time, they're like, hey, do you see this book? Do you see that book? I'm like, no, I don't see any of these books. So I don't know. I'm not blaming my LCS. I'm not blaming Diamond. I mean, there could be a plethora of things. Of course, they always say they're shorted, which may have been the case. But if you're shorted and you have no copies whatsoever on your shelves, especially for my LCS, yeah, it was a little disappointing. But at the same time, it was a light week because of that. So, but I did not get Teen Titans. I did not get Guardians of the Galaxy. If you've read them, please leave a comment and just let me know if you thought it was worth it. I'm still probably going to pick up that Teen Titans regardless. But that Guardians of the Galaxy run, I've been kind of off and on with, but I knew it was at the last issue. So if it was a good one, and I should pick it up, let me know. I'll go pick it up. But what I was able to pick up this week, we'll start with Marvel. We had Spider-Man number 3. I've actually been enjoying this read. Then I got Conan Serpent Wars number 2. I got this variant right here. Y'all have already heard me talk about Dark Agnes, so I had to go with this cover. Rolling on to DC, and my only DC book I picked up because Teen Titans wasn't there, and of course it is Doomsday Clock number 12. Now this was also interesting because my LCS has gone very heavy with Doomsday Clock. I can still find all the runs, all the issues that have been put out so far because they ordered so many. They only had like 2 or 3 cover A's and like 50 cover B's. I have no reason why. Maybe just because Dr. Manhattan was on the cover. But yeah, I went with this one instead. Now moving on to some indie stuff, I did get Black Stars Above number 2. I've already started reading this, but have not finished it. It's very similar in style to issue number 1. It seems like a good story, but I did a review on this one, on number 1, when it first came out. It just seems like it's made more for a movie or a novel or something. So far, I'm not seeing the good fit with this story being in a comic. But that's just my opinion. But I am somewhat enjoying the story. But yeah, about halfway through that one. Now, before I get to the 2 books I'm going to review for you guys today, I did pick up only one back issue book. And I got Red Sonja number 1. Right? So, and this is one that I'm glad that I got. I got it for $5. It's probably a mid to higher mid grade. It's not in perfect condition by any means whatsoever, but it's certainly not in terrible condition. I'm glad to have it in my collection, but it might not stay in my collection. And I'll tell you about that here in a minute. But hey, let's just go ahead and get into the books I'm going to review for you guys. The first one is Wellington #1 from IDW. Right, it's got a pretty interesting looking cover here. So it starts off in Apsley House, London, 1848. Right, so we're going back in time. And basically this guy walks in and he sees all the trophies on the wall, and you know, he's there for an appointment, but no one answered the door or nothing. So he walks in and there is Wellington. So this is about the Duke of Wellington. And basically he comes in, he's like, I'm sorry that I came in unannounced. Your servants weren't there to meet me. And without going panel from panel, the whole gist is he's like, I guess he's towards the end of his life, or getting towards the end of his life, and he wants certain things being told the way they actually happened. For the comic, right? And so he's pretty much saying, get your quill out, boy, write this down, I'm going to tell you the story. And he goes into the story where he receives a letter, basically that there was someone murdered under very unusual circumstances, and they're asking for him to come see what's going on, right? So he's like, I guess he knows the person, and he's like, yeah, I'll do it. So he goes, and they find out that there's somebody that's been killed. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but you can tell he's got big gashes in his chest, and he's also got all these like tattoos or markings all over his arms and legs. But what's weird is the guy's been dead for 20 days and he's not decomposing at all. So he goes, okay, this is pretty odd. Where was this body found? And they give the location, and it was near, I guess he was drugged by something into a tunnel, and that's where the body was found. So he's going out investigating. And all of a sudden you start seeing these prints on the ground, right? So he's on the track of something. And then he finds this door. So, and this is what I didn't quite understand. So there's a tower, and then there's the tunnel. Now, when he rolls to the tunnel, or to the tower, there's a door, and he's about to go in the door, and all of a sudden, like this raven starts, going ja ja ja, 9, just getting the guy's attention, and it's kind of weird that the raven seems to be communicating with him. Anyway, he goes in here and he finds this script that has almost the same symbols that are carved on or inked on that dude's body that was dead. So anyway, he's getting back on his horse, and then all of a sudden he's being pursued by a wolf. So he comes back, he cocks back, he shoots. I'm assuming he misses. And he even takes his sword out, takes a swipe at it. You can tell he was able to hit something, because if you look at its leg, it looks like a gash has been taken out of its leg. Don't know how well you're going to see that. And then he rides back to the stable, and he's like, is it gone? And they're like, what are you talking about? Anyway, so then he goes back in and said, hey, you've got a visitor. And then this weird old lady is sitting there waiting on him, and she goes, I threw the bones, and the message was clear. The devil himself has crawled up from hell, and I'm to help you find him. So yeah. So what I did like about the book, I liked it because there is some actual historical stuff going on. You know, we are talking about the Duke of Wellington. They put dates in here which do correspond to the actual age that he would have been at that time. And you know, it was an interesting story. It just didn't really catch me, right? I mean, it didn't catch me the way that I was hoping that it would catch me. First off, I do have a question, like, why Wellington? Like, why the Duke of Wellington? I mean, I try to look up some stuff to see if there were some other stories. I never found anything dealing with the Duke of Wellington when it came to anything supernatural. You know, if you know something that I don't know, please leave it in the comments. Or is this just a case of someone picking a historical figure and rolling with it? Because what I know from Wellington is basically his military exploits, you know, throughout the 1800s and late 1700s. I don't know much of anything else, so I might be missing something. The story itself, you know, it wasn't bad, but like I said, it didn't have the hook for me. So I don't know if I'll be picking up issue 2, but you know, at the same time, it was a decent read, and this might be up your alley, and you may enjoy it. Like I said, I did not enjoy it. It just didn't get that hook. I was like, yeah, man, I want to read issue number 2. But that's it. That's my review of Wellington, number 1 from IDW. Now the next one I got that I'll be reviewing is The Low Woods. And once again, we got this trifecta DC Black Label Hill House thing going on. Not sure what any of that means besides, you know, Hill House being Joe Hill. But let's just jump into this one. This one starts off with 2 girls. They're sitting in a movie theater, and all you see is they're sleeping, and it says the end. And then they kind of wake up, and they're like, you know, what the hell? Like, what happened? And like, we fell asleep to the movie, and the one person's like, no, something just happened. Like, what do you remember? And like I said, I remember holding the popcorn. She's like, no, I remember I was holding the popcorn. And apparently they just blanked out for like the entire movie. Don't know what's going on. And then like, the other one says, hey, you know, do you remember that mud that was on your shoes beforehand? Because I don't remember that being there. And she's like, no, that was not there before either. So, they've had a loss of time. And then they're going out, and I guess they see someone they know from school that works there, and they're like, you know, hey Josh, you know, is that you? Like, blah, blah, blah. And anyway, he puts on this creepy freaking face, and he's like, you know, did you enjoy the movie? And she says, no, but by the way, I threw up in there, which she did. She just threw up. I didn't want to show that part, But from there on out, and this is going to be kind of a quick review because there's a lot of dialogue. Basically, these seem to be both of our main characters. The one that's riding the bike, she seems to be doing all the dialogue for the most part. At least that's how I perceived it. So all this little side dialogue. Basically, it's giving a history of the town. And what does she call it? She calls the place... if I find it, I'll let you know. Alright, well, I'm sure I'll find it here in a second. But anyway, so they're on their bikes. They're like, hey, you know, what the hell happened? They're riding on the bike home, and all of a sudden they get tripped up by a rabbit. Right? And so they both fall, they bust it. And they look up, and they see this eerie freaking thing in the woods. Right? Looks like a deer, but if you look at the head, I don't know how well you'll see that, but it definitely looks like a humanoid, you know, top part with an arm, etc. It seems like it gives chase to them, but not too much. And so now they're freaked out. They're freaked out. They're like, you know, what the hell's going on? And, you know, and they come with all these theories, like, you know, do you think that we were drugged? You know, or was the movie that bad that we just blocked out everything, you know? And you know, what the heck was that thing? You know, and Apparently, some stuff has happened before in this town, and the rest of the story is basically giving you in some of the fill-in information. Basically, this is a mining town. I'm not sure exactly where it is. She calls it Shudder to Think. The town of Shudder to Think. Which, I don't know if that's actually the name. I doubt it. It seems like the name she's given the town. But basically, it was a heavy coal mining town. So, Virginia, West Virginia, something like that. I don't want to think it's West Virginia because of something else that comes up. But it's somewhere in that region. And basically, she was like, it used to be that men died normal deaths, which they would, pretty much get cancer and get sick from working in the coal mines, and that's how they died. But then weird things started happening to the females, and so much to a point that basically there was this running joke that like a girl, when she hit puberty, that's when they would find her just like lost somewhere. So these women go like disappearing, and they pop up in weird places with no recollection of what happened. And so there's something going on. It's normal enough for it's a running joke. But things got even worse. So basically a fire happens underground, like in the mines. And it's just burning and burning, and they don't know what caused it. This person's blaming this person's blaming that other person. But basically, there's this fire going on in the mines. And, they said it was so hot that, even when a blizzard came, the streets would not be wet. Because as soon as that snow hit the ground, not only would it melt, it would evaporate instantly. So people are burning their feet. And it's having other effects, like babies were born with placentas black as soot. And yeah, so some weird stuff was going on. Finally, the miners were like, hey, we're not going down there anymore. We can't. All right, so they pretty much were like, we're done. So then they hire in people from West Virginia, which makes me believe it's not West Virginia, the way it's phrased. They come in, but after time, they started refusing to go in there too. Like, there's something going on with these mines. And pretty much the whole time, this underground fire is still going on. They're still trying to mine, but there's this fire going on. And the story is just talking about, living in a shithole like this, and why would anybody stay? Like, why don't people just leave? And that's when it starts getting into some of the family dynamic. She's got family there. It's hard to leave a place that's the only place you know. It's love, etc. Did they show the crack? Let me see if they showed the crack yet. Oh yeah, so basically there was even a crack, like a big crack happened in the earth. And so yeah, some weird stuff happened in this town, right? So then it goes back into these two girls in their high school dynamics. They start giving off some figures, some characters. Here's this blonde chick right here who the black chick has a crush on. So basically, two of our main characters are lesbians, but they are not, that we know of, they're not partners, right? This one chick has a big crush on the blonde chick, how it's told so far, and our other main character has a big crush on the teacher, right? And so basically, I guess it's getting done with school, and, she just said, hey, I just failed 3 of my midterms. Or the character's riding the bike. I just failed 3 of my midterms, and the black chick is actually offering to her. I think they're V, I believe, is the black chick, and then Nell is the white chick in the black leather jacket. Yeah, I believe that's it. And anyway, she's getting right home. They're just talking about, hey, do you want me to tutor you? She's like, no, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, she drops her friend off, the one that has the crush on the blonde chick, and apparently it's not just a crush, right? It's some mad love going on right there, y'all. So basically, they had a evening of entertainment, and when she wakes up, she it's weird how they put it. You don't know exactly what's going on, but she seems disturbed. She goes to the bathroom, and then when she comes back out, she finds that the blonde chick has this hole in her stomach. Not sure what that means. if she's dead, because it doesn't, it's just like a spiral. It doesn't look like, even though it's red, it doesn't look like blood or anything else. But so yeah, very weird stuff. And then that's how it ends. So yeah, weird book, weird book. I didn't dislike it, but honestly, from a Hill House comic, which this is actually even written by Joe Hill. This is written by Carmen Maria Machado. Yeah, this was not my favorite of these issues that they've been doing. I'm not saying that it's bad, but once again, it just seemed, the whole thing just seemed so strange. It was kind of unbelievable. Yeah. And like this, like, you know, obviously this is going to be explained in the next issue, hopefully a little bit more in depth, but it just seemed too much of storytelling about the town without getting into the meat of what's actually going on. You know, I think it would have been better if they maybe broke it up a little bit within their issues, like get some more of the main plot, like what did just happen, you know, and then give pieces of the history throughout the different comics versus being mainly, I mean, 1, 2, you know, it's like, you know, three, 4 pages about like just the history of the town, and the rest of them is just them riding bikes and stuff. So, yeah, I was not that impressed with the Lolo Woods. Would I like to know what happens in issue 2? Yes. Will I buy issue 2? Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, those are my 2 reviews. Lolo Woods and Wellington. Let me know what you guys think about the books I picked up. If you read anything, what books I should have picked up. And with that being said, y'all, I hope all of y'all have a great weekend. Like I said, Christmas is coming up this next Wednesday. If you're like me, you're going to be out there doing that last-minute Christmas shopping. Spend it on others, not yourself, which is the hardest part for me, because I find stuff that I like all the time. Buying for other people sometimes is a challenge. But thinking of giving to others, please keep an eye out on this channel over the next few days, next week, because I am going to be dropping a video with a giveaway opportunity. It's something I think is unique. It's going to have some thought involved, some interaction, but I think it will be a fun giveaway idea. And so yeah, I'll be dropping that video here come soon. But with that being said, y'all have a great weekend. Go hunt for them Christmas presents for other people. I know you want to go buy some comics, and if you do, make sure you're buying them for somebody else, unless it's just something you can't live with. Alright. Peace out, y'all. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.